surface temperature anomalies.
More than a week after earthquakes rocked Nevada, residents are told there's more shaking to come.
The 5.7 broke a certain section of the fault, and the fault is extending.
Skin cancer is the most common form of cancer in the U.S. Today we'll separate fact from fiction.
Where on the body do you see the most skin cancer cases?
On the head and neck, and on the arms.
And the unexpected visitor that caused a stir in a Los Angeles neighborhood.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm Angela Brown. Another dangerous round of severe weather is expected to unfold across southern states today. The Storm Prediction Center issued a level 3 out of 5 risk for an area that includes Birmingham, Alabama, Jackson, Mississippi. A level 2 risk stretches from Atlanta all the way to East Texas. Scattered severe thunderstorms are expected this afternoon with supercells capable of all weather hazards possible later in the evening. Meanwhile, a powerful late season storm continues to bring heavy, wet snow to Colorado. This is Estes Park, Colorado, near Rocky Mountain National Park. Up to 2 feet could fall here by the time the storm ends tonight. Travel has been challenging as well. Denver and other cities along the Front Range are expecting up to 8 inches. But that did not stop this high school lacrosse game. You're looking at it right here yesterday. Today, most schools are closed and many homes have lost power. Danny Mata looks at how the storm is impacting residents.
It's May. I'm like, no way it's May and it's snowing right now.
As hard as it is to believe for some people, it is May. And people who drive for a living are having to choose between making it work in these snowy conditions or just waiting it out, even if they're only going to Denver.
It's halfway through May. This shouldn't be happening, but I don't have to leave till around noon tomorrow, so I'm hoping the roads are cleared up a little bit better.
I wish I could just poof, just, I don't even have to drive anymore. I wish I could just get there,
Even people who live in the Springs and know what to expect from Colorado weather, even in the month of May, they can get caught off guard too, like Gabby DeRocher, who had to get a tow truck from Castle Rock to Monument.
It's my work car. It's electric, and it got a little cold, so it died a little faster.
Were you expecting that to be an issue here on May 5th?
It's Colorado.
And you also get your Colorado truck drivers who have seen it all before, and they're not only concerned about the weather.
How are the drivers on the road today? I mean, I don't know how to describe that, but I guess it's a normal day for them because they're speeding. The smart ones are in the parking lots. The ones that are still out on the road, hopefully they slow down and take their time.
A rapidly developing El Nino could impact our summer ahead. Green Bay meteorologist Phil DeCastro gives us a closer look at how El Nino develops and how it can impact weather in different parts of the country.
After spending most of the last 2 years in La Nina conditions, the equatorial Pacific is swinging back into an El Nino. And that means after a prolonged stretch of seeing cooler than average water in the central and eastern Pacific, it's warming back up. And you can see that right now looking at the sea surface temperature anomalies in the central and eastern Pacific, all that warmer than average water sitting right there. That's where we look for when we look at El Nino formation. Now, technically, this isn't quite warm enough to be into an El Nino, but we are well on our way. Now, these are the projected probabilities for either La Nina, neutral, or El Nino conditions. Now, red is the El Nino probability, and it shows that as soon as the May, June, July period, we are more than likely to be seeing those El Nino conditions develop. And it doesn't stop there. This next chart breaks down the probabilities by strength of El Nino. Their modeling shows that by this fall, by the time we get to the October, November, December period, there's a more than 50% chance that not just are we going to see El Nino, but a strong or very strong El Nino. And now, despite this, El Nino itself does not actually have a strong correlation with summertime weather in North America. But if we do look specifically for cycles where we went from a weak or moderate La Nina straight into a strong El Nino, there are a few years that stick out, and there are some trends that start to emerge. The 4 years that I found were 1957, 1972, 1982, and 1997. So let's look at those 4 summers. Now, precipitation doesn't really show much of a pattern. 3 out of those 4 years were a touch drier than average, but we're pretty close to middle of the road. The one wet summer, 1997, was 17th wettest, but you put it all together, there's not a whole lot to glean from it. Now, temperatures are a different story. All 4 of those summers were cooler than average. And in the case of 1982 and 1997, they were both in the 10 coolest summers on record in Green Bay. Now, this doesn't mean that we're not going to see any hot and humid weather. There just might be a little bit less of it. So it's something we're going to have to monitor as we head into our summer months.
Hurricane season is approaching for areas along the Gulf and Atlantic coast. Now is the time to prepare, and Florida residents are gearing up for the season while still recovering from those that hit a couple years ago. Courtney Del Wallaby has that story.
I don't think we'll ever feel normal again. We got a new normal, is the way we tell everybody. Because what we used to have is gone, so we're having to rebuild and start over.
David Hall and his wife have owned the Spring Warrior Fish Camp for 5 years, and they say they cannot catch a break. After Hurricane Idalia hit in August 2023, Perry was struck again nearly a year later by Hurricane Debbie in August 2024, followed just weeks later by Hurricane Helene in September. And 2 years later, the Taylor County Emergency Management Director says Perry is still in a recovery phase.
It's been tough for our office to also be in the recovery phase, but also be in preparing for what could be coming this year down the road.
Small business owner Debbie Hall and her son say preparation is key to avoid long power outages, among other storm-related issues.
Your element of concern is at a heightened level because your security system is off. I mean, there's no airflow in your building, and you're just anxiously waiting for everything to pop on, the lights to be on.
Closer to the coast, the storms did their worst damage. David Hall says the water rose all the way to the bottom of these beams. And this is the house that David and his wife lived in. The storm picked it up and threw it several feet back. He said he learned a lot from those storms.
If another hurricane comes through, the campers are mobile. We can hook to them and take them to the property. The office, all the buildings will be on trailers. Even our docks are held together with pins, so we can unpin them and put them on a trailer and take them out so we don't lose those now.
Because even 2 years after the last storm, Perry and its people still have a lot of recovery ahead of them.
Well, it's been weeks of earthquakes and aftershocks in portions of Nevada. The activity started after a strong quake in mid-April, but experts say the shaking is far from over. Elizabeth Mitchell has more.
Earthquakes continue in northern Nevada after a magnitude 5.7 earthquake on April 13th triggered a swarm of aftershocks, many of them strong enough to shake shelves and rattle nerves.
You know, it's scary.
Residents tell me they are now taking extra precautions around their houses. People chimed in Tuesday on Facebook about the swarm. Brittany said, quote, live in Stagecoach 11 miles from the source. It definitely rumbles our place and leaves everything shaking and swaying, worried the big one might be bad. And Holly said, quote, it's a bit nerve-wracking for sure. We are in Stagecoach. Even though we don't feel most of the smaller ones, everything just seems kind of off balance all of the time. Definitely concerned about a bigger one. According to UNR Seismological Lab, the fault responsible is still active and even expanding.
We're seeing a lot of aftershocks and a lot of large aftershocks. The fault is longer than we initially thought. The 5.7 broke a certain section of the fault, and the fault is extending.
Scientists say the 5.7 quake was also unusually shallow, making it easier to feel and even causing cracks near the surface.
Maybe 2 or 3 miles deep instead of the usual 5 or 7.
While aftershock sequences like this are common in Nevada, there's no clear timeline for when the shaking will stop.
Each aftershock, of course, comes with its own aftershocks. And so that's really what people are feeling out there right now.
Experts say the risk for another larger quake is slightly elevated, but not enough to warrant evacuation. Instead, they recommend securing heavy objects and having a safe place to take cover.
And coming up on the National Weather Desk, we'll look at why winter hibernation is ending earlier for animals on the West Coast. And we're also going to look at some of the myths surrounding dangers of summer sun exposure.
I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti with a look at the Northeast. We're tracking more wet weather over the next day or so. Another round of rain is making its way into New York with a stubborn little front. This will work its way into New England during the course of the afternoon. This is about 2 o'clock or so. Most towns today will top out in the 60s. Now, our steadiest and heaviest rainfall, at least in New England, will probably be reserved for the nighttime hours. It's about 10:30 tonight. There could be some decent downpours moving through New England. A brighter sky returns on Thursday with temps in the 60s.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Gerard Bailey. Here's a look at the Mid-Atlantic region. This front moving through continues to bring showers to the region. We'll continue to see that, even some thunderstorms possible through Wednesday night and even into Thursday before that system exits. Rain will be scattered as we move into Thursday, but temperatures taking a dive with the cooler air working its way in. While Wednesday's highs 60s to 70s across the region, we'll be seeing it cooling down with some of that air around, and we'll talk about it in the 50s for highs.
I'm meteorologist Lauren Oleski with a look at your forecast. Temperatures for the afternoon on your Wednesday ranging quite a bit. 50s near Little Rock and Memphis, but 70s as you go across parts of the deep south, and then even hitting the 90s in parts of Florida. Of course, 80s in the mix there too. There's a few fronts that are going to be moving across the southeast as we go through this week, so skies are partly cloudy with some showers for areas that are a little bit further north. Florida, mostly sunny out there. That front then gets a little closer to the east coastline heading into Thursday and Friday.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
A cavalcade of clouds, these with iridescence. When sun or moonlight passes through clouds and the light diffracts, small ice crystals or water droplets make that happen and scatter the light. And on a different day, these clouds keep it moving seemingly in perpendicular directions after earlier rain ends.
Want to see your weather photos and videos on TV? Click Chime In on this station's website to share.
Some Green Bay area businesses are starting to reopen after recent floods. Eric Peterson takes us to a new London outside Green Bay, where a local bait shop owner is working to make it happen.
Right here's where the water came up to. Inside Johnny's little shop of bait, owner John Fouché says Wolf River floodwater was about a foot deep. Right now it's all about triage, removing anything wet, getting it out of the building, running fans, dehumidifiers, trying to get that mold prevention going. Fouché says this bait shop has been a New London staple since 1952. I've worked here 38 years, and I saw a lot of stuff go out in the dumpster that was really hard to see go out in the dumpster. Fouché says record Wolf River levels forced the bait shop to close for 15 days. Until last Friday. We're just open partially right now because it was opening weekend for Wisconsin fishing for the lakes. So we did get some bait in, and we're able to just kind of serve customers on maybe a 1/3, 1/4 basis. Fouché says the store was busy opening weekend. He says there has been an outpouring of support. We've had big snowstorms. We've had things that people get through and neighbors helping neighbors, but this is the mother of all disasters for people, and I don't know, it's just been very heartwarming to see the support that's coming from within the community.
A Utah homeowner woke up to a surprise in his backyard, a mountain lion. Visits from Mother Nature are no surprise, just not this close to home. So does the dry weather have something to do with this appearance? Leslie Durante has more.
Mike Sir Alien says he didn't expect to wake up to this.
I grabbed my phone
and saw my neighbor had texted me there's a cougar in your backyard.
This is a video of a mountain lion in his backyard. The cougar cooling off in a tree.
I came out, look up, and it's just staring at me, sleeping in the tree.
And later peering through Sir Lane's window. Michael Packer with DNR.
How common is it to see a mountain lion in a neighborhood like this?
In neighborhoods, it can happen, but in this particular situation, it's not that common to be able to find them sitting up in a tree in a backyard.
What do you think, Fluff?
After a dry winter and expected hot summer, will more wildlife encounters occur?
How's the warmer weather playing a role into this kind of behavior?
You know, warmer weather or our non-typical winters, they can play or have an impact on all of our wildlife, and cougar are no exception. So it can deviate or cause them to deviate from their normal patterns to some extent, but more often than not, we will see them still come down in the winters and just follow their food.
In California, it's not the lions, but the bears that are making waves. An unexpected guest was spotted making itself at home in a Los Angeles neighborhood on Monday. Luz Delia Caballero reports people were fascinated as crews worked to safely get that black bear relocated.
A wild scene unfolding in Pacoima, a black bear wandering through a neighborhood near Hanson Dam, showing up in backyards, near pets, and even close to Sarah Coughlin Elementary.
Are they on lockdown now?
Yeah. At one point, the bear walked along someone's back porch, and you could see the person inside sitting on a couch jump up. Neighbors say the bear appeared calm, but its presence alone was enough to rattle the community.
Yeah, the people he's scared. Some people no, because he loves bears, you know.
Some people here even capturing close encounters on camera, including our own photojournalist. For longtime residents like Isidro Mendoza, it's something they never expected to see.
Oh, I'm surprised.
It's the first time.
Yeah.
Just before 1 o'clock Monday afternoon, crews with the California Department of Fish and Wildlife successfully tranquilized the bear, which was seen passed out laying on top of a brick wall.
A lot of kids. And really es danger, peligroso. Also the bear there because there's a lot of families.
Wildlife officials carefully got the bear down from the wall, put it in a trailer, and took him to be released back into the wild. They say it wasn't previously tagged and showed no aggressive behavior.
No, I think they come to looking for food, but anyway, the people panic, you know.
Officials also believe this is the same bear spotted in the Hanson Dam area just a day earlier, seen climbing trees and resting nearby. But still, even a calm bear is unpredictable. And for many here, the experience was a stark reminder of how close wildlife can come to home.
And it's not just wildlife getting out and about as temperatures increase. Us humans are also getting out to enjoy the spring weather as well. And as we take in more sun, the warnings about skin cancer follow. Just how bad is sun exposure to your skin? Meteorologist Emily Gracie spoke with a meteorologist to separate fact from fiction and help us get ready for a season of safety in the sunshine.
While people do wear sunscreen, they often miss certain spots, like the tip of their nose, like their ears. I often see people that will apply everywhere except there. And then this can be problematic in the future because those are areas where people can develop skin cancers. And those skin cancers sometimes are a little more of a challenge to treat.
Where on the body do you see the most skin cancer cases?
On the head and neck and on the arms. But some men in particular that have a lot of balding on the top of their head and then don't engage in sun safety, they can get a lot of skin cancers on their scalp.
What about different skin tones? Is anybody more susceptible to skin cancer than someone else?
Anyone can develop skin cancer, no matter what skin type that they have. People like me that have darker skin just get it at lower rates. Also, skin cancer in lighter skin types usually is associated with sun exposure. It is not the case in people that have darker skin types. So this idea that people of darker skin types should use sunscreen because it's going to prevent skin cancer, that is erroneous.
Getting vitamin D is very important for our overall health, and that sunscreen is preventing that. So how do you weigh the benefits here of needing vitamin D, but then also needing to avoid skin cancer?
One school of thought that is that you should get your vitamin D from supplementation through food, right? And avoid some of the potential risks of too much sun exposure. That's one possibility. The other is just to safely be outside for 10, 15 minutes and get the adequate amount that you need.
And as we head to break, we take in the skies over Sydney, Australia.
Well, a very good Wednesday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buckmichael. Cool temperatures across the Midwest for the next several days here. Got some rain across the Ohio Valley, kicking its way out of here this morning. And as we get into the day tomorrow, might deal with a couple of stray showers, but Thursday looking pretty quiet for a lot of us across the Midwest. And Friday got a few more showers starting to sneak their way back in from the south, but at least temperatures warming up a little bit more heading into the end of the week.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia. Here's a look at your regional weather. Well, we're running 49 degrees in Oklahoma City. Had a little bit of rain activity going on, some showers back out from Shreveport, back down to the south near Corpus. We've got a little weak front that's coming down toward the south. That'll be the triggering mechanism for some more scattered showers across the region today. But the bigger storms will be out to the east in Louisiana and into Tennessee. Otherwise, going to be a hot and humid day. I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia. That's a look at your regional weather.
Well, hi there, everybody, and a good Wednesday morning to you. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. The May gray certainly making itself known up and down the West Coast, keeping temperatures around coastal California just in the 60s versus much milder conditions inland, including 87 in Vegas and 80 today out of Boise. Through the Four Corners region, area of low pressure, low disturbance pushing on in, bringing some snow to the high country outside of Denver as we head into this afternoon. And that's the scene from here.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
Hurricane season is on the way, and it's National Hurricane Preparedness Week. Meteorologist Karen Wynn explains how to get ready.
Hurricane season begins on June 1st, so we're a little less than a month away, but the National Weather Service says the best time to prepare is now, before the season begins. That way you can get many of your supplies while the shelves are fully stocked and avoid rushing through life-saving preparations. So some more things to do: develop an evacuation plan, have more than one way to leave your area, know your neighborhood roads, also gather those supplies, food, water, batteries, charger, cash. Make sure you have your insurance in order, get that insurance checkup, document all your possessions, and remember there's that 30-day wait period for flood insurance. And create a communication plan, have a handwritten list of contacts in case you can't use your phone, and also make sure you strengthen your home, trim trees, install hurricane shutters, and if you are boarding up your windows, of course, some of those supplies you're going to want to get in advance are plywood, steel, and aluminum.
And thank you so much for joining us. I'm Angela Brown. Make it a great day. I'll see you right back here tomorrow.